Hey guys, Deb here with Art and Grace. Come on in. Let's have a fun night of Christmas in July. This is so fun for me to do Christmas when it's 110 degrees here in Texas. So guys, come on in. Tell me what the weather's like where you are. Hopefully it's not as hot as it is here. I want to see who is first on. I've got my list ready. I think it's Brenda. It's Brenda. Hey girl, you are the first one here. So your name's going on the list. Was it you earlier or am I dreaming? Tell me if it was you earlier, but that's fine. I'm putting you down twice if it was. I have Brenda here, but I don't remember if it was you or a different one. Okay, so guys, yes, come on in and say hey to me. I'm excited that you're here. I love doing Christmas. I could really probably do it year round. It just feels weird when it's so hot, but I'm excited to, yeah, it was, that's awesome. I'm excited to do this little gnome. You know, this may be my last year for gnomes. I don't know. I said last year I probably wasn't going to do gnomes, but I'm seeing them again coming out for Christmas, so I thought I'd go ahead and do one. They're always fun. Everybody likes them, so we'll do one here and then maybe go on to something else. Hello guys, yeah, say hi. We're not in a time rush. I mean, I will get you out as fast as possible, but it's okay. Hi Julie, how are you? Hi Sandra. I'm doing good. Y'all, our air went out today. Can you put like out? So we did get it fixed already. I don't know, I guess it was just a God thing that somebody was able to come out today, or they've just hired more people because I've heard some horror stories. So yes, 70 and dropping to 66. That is amazing, Linda. You're in Ohio, right? Ohio. Had to think for a second. Wow. Hi Sherry, hi Anna, hi Shelly Ann, hi Dana. Hope I got everybody. It's 100 degrees. Yeah, it's just miserable here. Hi Debbie. Yes, I was so glad they got it fixed quick too. So guys, if you'll sprinkle me out there, it's hard to get out, especially when I have not been going live the last few days. So do that for me. That will help get, Facebook back in my good graces. But let me show you kind of how we're going to start. So you know that I love using the wood boards. I've done so much on canvas and everything that sometimes it's fun to do something different. These wood boards are excellent quality. They have a jute already attached and the hanger, so you can just pull that down and hang it on your wall if you want to. Or you could take this off and put something totally different. But when you get it, if you can see, I don't sand them for you. You will need to sand it. So just grab one of these sanders at the Dollar Tree. And I'm not going to do it because, we all hate that sand. But you're going to go outside, give it a really good rough sand. And then, both sides. And look at this. Can y'all see this? See that right there? Those are going to give you splinters. So you do have to sand them. But that's not a problem. This was $1, just sand it. No, Brenda, I'll tell you in the VIP group where I get them. I don't give out all of my information on my page. I like to give the very best deals and the best things to the VIP group. So you're in there and I'll give it to you inside. Thank you, Sandra, for sprinkling. I appreciate it. And Tanya, how are you? Thank you for sprinkling me to West Texas. That's awesome. We lived out by Abilene for a little bit. Oh, you're welcome, Shelly Ann. You got the deer. You guys, if you didn't see the deer, let's see if I can find it. Where is it? It's got to be up here somewhere. Oh, I bet it's on that shelf. There it is. Can y'all see the little deer beside the Christmas tree? So the Christmas tree, the ceramic tree, is what we did last Friday. So if you weren't here, you didn't know about it, you can go back on my page or on YouTube and watch that tutorial. It's a ceramic tree, lots of fun to paint. And then we did the little deer today, so you could see that one. Hi April, how are you? Did we tell you that we got the air fixed already? So it's still not cool in here, but it's working. Hot in Mississippi. I know, Nelda. It's just hot everywhere almost. Thank you, Debbie, for sprinkling. Thank you, Christy, for sprinkling. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Linda. So anyway, we just pretend we've got this sanded really well, okay? I should have sanded it before I started, but I didn't think about it. I've got one ready to go though, but I'm going to show you one of the best things you can do if you're going to paint on wood. I don't typically do this step. I, a lot of times, do the cheat and use chalk paint as a sealer. So I'll put this down first, a really good, nice coat of that. But y'all, I was like, I need to go buy a sealer. I need to quit using my chalk paint as a base. So I looked on my shelf and I had this 2-ounce one. So I didn't realize I had it, or I'd have been using it. This is a great sealer that you can, it's just a multi-purpose sealer by Deco Art, and just get a big brush, like a big soft brush usually works great. I'm not going to use one of my good ones. I go find one of my old ones that I don't really care about, because you know, this is similar to like a glue-ish kind of thing. It is, you know, fairly runny, but the reason I don't use my good brushes is because I don't want this to dry up in the bristles, and if I left it on my brush by accident, it'd ruin it. So anyway, just get on here on your wood and just brush this sealer on. This is, if you brush this on well and just a really nice good coat all across the entire board, your paint will go on so much smoother. You'll have better results. It won't soak into the wood, because this is like a barrier in between your wood and your paint. So this is what I call best practices. That doesn't mean that we always do what we should do, right? I mean, I think most crafters pinch pennies and cut corners, and you know, we all do it. But when I saw that I did have this already, I didn't have to go buy it, I was so excited. And I was like, I need to show them, because I don't often show this step, because like I said, I kind of cheat and use the chalk paint. But this is a great thing to do. And you can use any sealer that is water-based. Don't go using like an oil-based sealer that you've used on your house or something, or on the fence outside. You want it to be a water-based sealer, and this will make a big difference, okay? So once I've got that on really well, I would let this completely dry. And here's the other trick I'm going to show you. I try to remember to show you the things as I go, but I'm just going to get as much of that off my brush as I can. Hi, Lissa. Hi, Carol. Thank you for the stars. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for sprinkling, Shelly. And then I'm going to put it in my water. So that way, most of the sealer is in my rag rather than sitting in my water, which if I put paintbrushes in, you know. So I would set this aside, and then when it's dry, I would bring it in and take a really fine sandpaper and sand it and do it again. I'd put another coat of sealer, let it dry, sand it again, and then I'd be ready to go. And when I say a light sanding, so you're not taking the sealer off, you're just sanding, because I don't know, you will get just little bits of roughness, okay? So I'm gonna set this aside. I feel like I'm on a cooking show when they reach over and they get the one that's already done. So yes, I have already sealed this. Let me hold it up and let you see. So let me show you the back of the wood. You see the back of the wood is just plain. Now let's see if you can see the difference. I don't know if you can see it, but it just makes it a little satiny looking maybe. You can just tell that it's on there, and it's going to give us a good base for our painting. Now, after you've done all that, and what I would do next is drill my holes. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't, okay, let me back up. Drill your holes before you put the sealer. That's probably better. Let me think. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So either way, you can do whichever you prefer. Probably seal it and then drill the holes. Because what I did was I drilled the holes and then sealed it, and then had to take my little ice pick and kind of get the sealer out, because I didn't want it to clog up my holes or settle into a little clump in there. So yes, do that. Do that. So for the fairy lights, which is what I'm going to put in here at the end, I use a 7/64 inch drill bit. Okay, 7/64 inch. And I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but that's what I use, so I'm just showing you. That size seems to work perfect for the fairy lights, for me anyway. Oh, are y'all freezing up? Not freezing, good, I hope it's not. Yeah, it just does, and I don't know why. It's not me, it's Facebook. Yeah, Brenda, I try to remember. Hi, Denise. I try to remember to give some of these tips every time I go live. No, it doesn't matter, Rosie. It really doesn't matter. Your sealer is going underneath. So this isn't a top coat. You're probably thinking of a top coat sealer. This one, because it's a multi-purpose sealer, it's kind of meant to go under things for adhesion. So it likely has some glue in it. So I don't think, oh, and you do shake it before you use it. I don't think that this has any type of choice of matte or glossy. You're thinking maybe of a top coat kind of sealer where they will give you the choice. Okay, so once we've got our holes drilled, now another thing, let me just say this before I start painting. I am offering these as a kit. Don't worry, most of you guys like to go to craft stores and pick out your own things. You've already got stuff you can use, that's great. So you wouldn't need this. This is for people who are, it's hard for them to get out. It's hard for them to find what they need. Maybe they don't have a store nearby. I have a lot of people like that who asked me about, I don't know, a year ago to start sending stuff to them. So I finally got to where now, if it's a cute project, I'll make a kit for it. And that way, you know, usually I'm sending out at least several of everything I do, you know, and as long as I can, I will. You know, if it gets to be too much, I won't be able to. But hi, Becky, I'm glad you're here. This is 10 inch. So yes, use what you have. You know, use what you have. But I was going to tell you, there's two choices on the art kits. If you want to get a kit and it has everything included that I'm going to use, I'll either drill the holes for you or I'll leave it blank. You don't have to put the lights, that's just an option. So, let's see. I wanted to be sure I got all of that said before I start painting. So now we're just going to put down our tracer. You guys know that I give tracers when you purchase an art kit. And for this event, I will give you a tracer. So typically my tracers are reserved for the VIP membership group I have. But for Christmas in July, I am giving these tracers. So here's how I have this, but I think I'm going to move this little guy over here a little bit. So I'm going to put him about right here. So you can move this around and change it a little bit. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I design it on here. Do your own thing with it. Once you get the tracer, you can, you know, change it up. You can cut it apart. You can use the gnome with something else or the tree with something else. So, all right, guys, so we're just going to tape this down. Once I have it, you know, actually I'm going to bring it up a little bit and we'll put some snow under his feet. I almost forgot. That is a cute little touch. So just slide your carbon. Your carbon has two sides. The dull side and the shiny. The shiny goes down, which is the carbon, which that will go on our board. And then I'm just going to trace. And there's other ways to do this. If you ever want to trace something and you didn't get the carbon or you don't have access to it, then just scribble on the back of your tracer like this. This is a tracer, by the way, the sheet of paper that has the design. And you can scribble on the back of your tracer across the lines, just scribble on the back. And then when you turn it over, that's your carbon. And you can still trace it onto your design. This doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, I usually go rogue anyway. I kind of will, you know, get the majority of it right and then usually do my own thing. I'm going to try to follow it pretty good today. That's okay, Levada. Girl, I run late everywhere I go. They tease me that I'm going to be late to my own funeral, and I probably will. Something will happen. I'll be late, and y'all can all have a good laugh because that is so dead. So, okay. Did anybody have any questions that I missed about drilling or any of that stuff? You're new. What is the link for purchase? So, Carla, I was just telling them, anybody that wants an art kit, let's grab this this is what I'm going to show tonight. And the art kit has the wood, it has the paint, it has the glitter, it has the glitter, all of the glitter. So I used 3 glitters on this. I used red, green, and gold. You get all that. You get the snow text. It doesn't have the lights, but everything else you'll have in your kit. And then you just basically, oh, and the tracer, of course. You'll have tracer and carbon paper. So you just take it out and you're good to go. You would need the sealer if you want to use a sealer, or you could use chalk paint, and you'll need lights if you want to put the lights. So that's what the art kit is. I wish I had one to show you. I have lots of art kits around here, but I didn't think to get one over here. Thanks, April. Let's see if you guys, and Carla, you asked about what is the link. Is that what you meant? What are you getting if you click on the link? It just, thank you, Marty. It just takes you to the page where you can either download the tracer or you can purchase an art kit if you want one. Let's see. I don't see any others. If you ask something and I didn't see it, then you just ask it again. I'll try to kind of watch. Thank you, Deborah, for the stars. I appreciate it. Thank you, Andrea. Hi, Barbara. I'm glad you caught me live. Sometimes when I go live and y'all comment and I don't see it, I feel terrible. So I'm glad that I can kind of look up and see some comments. Okay, we're ready to paint. Let's see. Do we want to paint it the same as that one? So that's my question. The green, red, I guess I should do it the same. I started to say, you know me, and I always like to go crazy and do something different. But I probably should do it the same, right? And can y'all see? Do I need to lower that down? Start painting. Yes, we're going to do it upside down. That's what I do. Hello, Juliana from Connecticut. How are you? What's your weather there? I bet it's better than it is here. Now, when you are painting, you know, a lot of times you'll see us use all kind of colors. You know, we've got, I have a whole shelf full behind me, and then or in front of me, and then I've got a whole cart full over here. So we have every color under the sun. When they go on sale, like I use Deco Art, for example, and when these go on sale at Michael's, they're about $1.15, and I stock up. And so, breezy and warm. So you don't have to buy all the colors. You can take your color and then put a little bit of white and a little bit of black on your palette, and that will give you 3 shades of green. So you don't have to buy all the colors. Hi, Rula, how are you tonight? Glad you're here. And Gwen is here from Wichita Falls. 108, y'all. I don't know. How are we going to stand it when it gets hotter? This is crazy town. I said last week when I was painting the Christmas tree, my intention was to decorate as Christmas in here and dress as Christmas. I couldn't, there's no way I could put on a long sleeve anything. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of green and I'm just going to move it over here. I'm just going to show y'all how we get, and bear with me guys, a lot of you know this, so I'm sorry to go over it again, but there will be people who do not know, so give me just a minute to show them, because we all had to learn at some point. You know, there's always, you know, you don't know till you know, and after this, they will know. So I don't do this every time. Hi, Patty, no problem, girl. We're fine. We're just really getting started, you know, going over some of the basics. And I put a little black into this one. I actually put a lot of black. I typically go really low, just a little bit at first, and then do more, but that worked out for me. So we had the regular green. It's like a Kelly green. We added a little white and got light green. We added a little black and got dark green. So that's how you can do it if you don't want to go out and buy a bunch of colors. And this works perfectly well. Do you do the glitter after you paint everything? No, I do the glitter and I'll show you what I use. It's like paint glitter, so it's zero mess. You will get no mess anywhere. Okay, so because I have my sealer down, you guys, I'm going to have to get up because I think someone unplugged it. Let me just check, okay? Because if I don't, my phone will die. So hold on. Hold, please. You guys, don't leave me. I'm just checking the plug to be sure it's plugged in over here. It looks like it is, so let's see what else could be the problem. Plugged in, pushed in, plugged in here, and it's on. So why is my phone not charging? That is so strange. Okay, hold on. Oh dear. I had my little light set up on this little thing down here for my grand finale. Okay, let's see. No, it's still not showing. Oh my goodness. Okay, April, are you here? Marco Polo. April, are you still here? If you are, would you please tell Ron or Maddie to bring me a charger for my cell phone? Turn your charger around the phone. Turn your charger around to the phone. What does that mean? Turn your charger, turn it, like, take it out and turn it back in. It says it's charging. Okay, that scared me because it was like, yes, it's charging. Well, what is that? I've never had a problem before. Okay, I think we're all good. Thank you, Patty. What a lifesaver you are. Hi, Deborah. We just had a technical difficulty. I thought I was going to panic. I didn't want to lose my friends here, and it was saying my phone was about to die. That's my fault for not having it fully charged before I started. Thanks, Patty. You're a lifesaver. That's awesome. Okay, so just grabbing a flat brush. You can grab any brush you want to. I'm going to show you a basic tree, so I'm going to get, ooh, I need a little bit more of this, the dark color. And we are just, okay, interesting. Good to know. That's never happened to me before. So I've got my dark on my brush, but I'm also going to come into my lighter green, my medium green. And it doesn't matter if you start at the top or the bottom. This is just, y'all, there are so many ways to paint trees. This is a whimsical painting. So I should tell you right now, this is like as easy as it gets. This is not fancy. This is just simple. These are some of the kind of things I did for paint parties. And we're all talking and having fun. You don't want to be messing with, you know, being perfect or trying to teach people technical things. And as I'm talking here tonight, this just makes it easy to do a whimsical tree. I really, you know, the whole reason that I do this is for stress relief. So this is just my go-to anyway. Queen of Whimsical, Shelly Ann. Sorry, that's me. You cannot have my title. I really, really do enjoy doing this kind of art, and I'm always so grateful that people allow me to do it, because, you know, there are a lot of fine artists out there. I'm just not one. And once I was okay with that and learned to embrace what I do and what I enjoy, gosh, it's so freeing, because I no longer had to try to be, you know, perfect. You love how I paint? Thank you. I'm so glad. So glad. Y'all, it's hot in here. I don't know that the air's working, or maybe I got really nervous when my phone was about to. So I will come back in here and go do more layers, but I'm just showing you that you take this brush and you let it do the work. You just kind of put in some marks, and I do try to go in the direction of, you know, of the branches, and then some of these can kind of come sort of down. But you saw how fast I'm doing it upside down. That's another reason I like whimsical, because it allows me to do this. And I like facing you. When I look into that camera, I'm picturing you. And I know, you know, sometimes I know what you look like from your profile picture or your, you know, interactions with me, but that's how I feel like you're in here with me and I can see you. So I wanted to be able to kind of look up and look at you in my mind, and yet still paint and you see it. So that's why I do it this way. Everybody asks me, why do you paint upside down? That's why. Okay, you can, you know, I usually will brush a little green right here, and then we'll bring the brown into it. But that's just no big deal. Okay, so that's the first layer of our tree. Super easy, right? Everybody can do it. You will see there's nothing that I teach you that you can't do. You know, it might take a couple of times on some things, like flowers or something, but I prefer teaching things I know that you guys can do. I was going to use these brushes over here. I already cleaned them and have them all ready. Hi, Sandra. Glad you're here. Glad that you can... Oh, yeah. Shelly and Patty are saying it's nice to not feel like you have to be perfect. Isn't that the truth? Okay, so I'm going to take some brown for the little trunk down here and just, you know, kind of put some streaks down here with the brown coming up into the tree. And I'll let that dry, but what I will do once it's dry, and I'll show you, I'll take the tip of this and just kind of come in here and put just the littlest touches of black. So do y'all see that? Always have to see what you're seeing. So just little bits of black in there, and then we'll go back later and add some more fun stuff. Another thing I was going to tell you is, I should have probably painted the background first. I was going to do this background different, and I totally forgot to address that. That one over there is stained. Oops. So I just took a wash on this one. This one has some brown paint. I'll do it super fast, y'all. I can do this in probably, somebody time me, I'd say 30 seconds. So you take your cup or whatever you want to put it in, a little brown paint. I mean, that's like not even really covering the bottom. I take about 1 lid of water because I do use either bottled water or distilled water. I don't have distilled right now, so I use this. And I pour that in there. I don't use tap water with my paints. I just don't like all the mineral stuff that's in them, you know. Take a brush and stir it up. So how long did that take me? Like 15 seconds? That's all you do to make your own little wash stain. And I should have thought to tell you that sooner. That is all you do. And then to put it on your board, I wanted to do tonight's different just to give you some variety and show you a different way. And then I totally forgot. You use water. I'll take a couple of baby wipes. You can brush it on, and sometimes I do brush it on, but I have baby wipes, so I'll use those. And dip your baby wipe in it. Let's do it on the back. Well, we'll do it on this one. Let me do it on this one that I was using as my example. And we're just gonna wipe this onto our board. I put it on, you know, pretty wet. And just let it sit there. Do you see the difference in the color? And you can, if you want it darker, use a darker brown. If you know, and you can also do multiple layers of this. So let it do its thing, and then you'll do another layer of it. And then I usually take a paper towel to kind of wipe some off. So that removes some of it, but you've still got, this is what it looks like originally, and then you've got a stained look. And you can, like I said, use a darker brown if you want to, and do it a little darker. But that's a really good tip if you're not familiar with staining, you don't want to use a stain. Oil-based stains don't work well with acrylic paints, so I typically do this if I want that stained look. Let's see. Or who said that? That's funny about combing your hair. Jammies are acceptable. We need a jammies paint night. Heck yes. I'm very casual, as y'all know. So here's a little bit darker brown. You know, just use what you have. You could use a red if you want to and do like a barn red stain. I've done that. I've done aqua and do kind of a whitewash with aqua. So that is how you do that. And I'm sorry I didn't think to show you that earlier, but that's how I got the stain on that first one. Just like that. Okay, we're back in business. Now with this one, I totally forgot I was gonna paint the background, and then I just went on with my stencil and started going, hi Sharon, how are you? So we'll go ahead and do a background. How about blue? What do y'all think for a background? I was kind of thinking like of a night sky. Tell me what y'all are thinking of that. How about a night sky? Y'all tell me, because this will be lit up, so that would be cute. Yes, Megan, there's a link in the description of this video, and you can click on it and go get it. Or after the video if you want to wait. But do you mean mail it, or did you mean for you to print it? Yeah, blue, Deborah says, yes. I think blue will be cute with, we're kind of doing more of a night sky. I used to cut my own wood. I don't right now because it's just too hot. So I'm going to get a little bit of blue. Well, I got a lot of blue and a little bit of black to darken this up. Of course, I've got a midnight blue, but I'm going to show you while I'm in the teaching mode tonight. Find something to, if you have a craft stick or a stir stick, those are great things to mix your paint with, so you're not, you know, kind of messing up your brushes, because it's pretty hard on your brush to sit here and do this. Yeah, this is going to be pretty. So that was just a little bit of primary blue and then black, just a little bit of black, and that darkens it up to make it more of a midnight sky. So we might even add some sparkles, some snowflakes, or twinkling lights, who knows. Yeah, night sky will be pretty. So tell me if you've had dinner tonight. Have you had, I always ask about food, and I think it's because I'm always hungry. But like, have y'all had dinner, or is it, depends on what time you are, Pacific to Eastern, you know, it's all different. So some of you may not have had dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and work this background color in, even though we've already started painting, no problem. You'll see, no problem, because if I need to, I can go back. Now, if you want a smooth background, you want to go from side to side, just back and forth, real smooth with your brush, side to side, and that gives you a smooth, nice background. People that follow me know that I like the more painterly look, so I'll usually get two colors on my brush and do these X marks that gives you that textured look. But I think for tonight it'll be pretty to have more of a smooth sky, right? It's totally personal preference. It doesn't matter at all, just whatever you like. I will get as close to that tree as I can get. If I go over, it's okay, we can fix it. There's never any emergencies in art. Well, not in whimsical art, let's say that. No carb chicken strips, that sounds good. Brenda, let's see, so it is 5:30 there, 5:30 in California, I believe. Leftover homemade pizza. Ooh, that sounds good, Tamara. Rula hasn't eaten. Debbie hasn't eaten. Shelly, you can't hear me? Or is it better? Let me know. I don't think it's me. I'm not using my mic right now because my phone needed the charger. So that was my bad to let my phone get like that. I like this color. They should make this color. Now, again, if you're gonna kind of get up next to something, get your paint to where you've got a nice clean edge. So that's as straight as I can get it. But then you can use that edge to go around your object and give you that little, you know, border so that you don't go into the little guy's hat. Oh, that's okay. No emergencies. Hello from Florida. I know, Darla. Do you guys, I guess everybody, who doesn't have central heat and air? I know I was watching Justin one day and he said he didn't. So I don't know what states don't have it. I guess I forget that not everybody needs it. It's a necessity here in Texas. But, gosh, it's just getting to where it's hot everywhere. It's not just southern states. But you see how you can let your brush do a lot of the work and then you're just kind of filling in some things. I use a flat brush anytime I'm going to cover a lot of space or there's a lot of room and you don't have to go around anything small. Yes, that is what I would do, Shelly. I would have, if I had thought about it, just painted this whole board. Well, I probably would have done everything but the gnome. The green tree will look great on top of the blue. It won't matter. But for him, he's got a lot of white and then he's going to have red. So I might have gone ahead and traced around. You can do it really any way. I mean, I see people do it all different ways. I guess 9 times out of 10, I just go ahead and do the big background. Just do the whole thing and then paint on top of it. A lot of times when you've got like a nice dark base, it makes your painting more interesting. So it's probably the best way. With paint parties, when I did paint parties, a lot of times we did, I had it already traced out for them. So when they picked this board up, it would already have the tree and the gnome traced out for them because that would take too much time at a paint party. And a lot of people, they're just like, oh, you know, they don't even know how to paint at all. They've never maybe held a paintbrush. And so you just want to make it as easy as possible on them so they're not stressed out the whole time. And I loved doing that, but I thought about it today. I was thinking about this today. Somebody asked me, you know, are you willing to do some paint parties if I need you? And, you know, I just really prefer being with you guys. I loved paint parties, and I would do them, you know, if somebody needed me. But now I've got friends on here that I see every time I'm on, so I don't want to give that up. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Oh, is that right, Tamara? I didn't know that about it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's such a, ooh, you can go ahead. I started to say I don't really need to paint this bottom, but it'll be good. So we're going to have some snow on the ground. And honestly, this will just give our snow dimension and some depth, so I'm fine with it. You see how I'm just letting that brush do the work? Just getting right up next to that edge. So your brushes do matter. I know I hear people say they don't. They really do. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but you will have some better results if you get a little bit better brushes. So if you're struggling and your paintings just never seem to turn out, are you using, you know, like a Dollar Tree brush, which in a pinch is fine, and I have some in my bucket. But if you're really struggling, then that's one thing to think about, getting just a little bit better brushes. Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, they all have brush sets that, you know, aren't very expensive, you know, about $5, and you get 3 or 4 brushes in it. So I have an Amazon list, several lists actually, and I have one that has all my favorite paint supplies. So you can always ask me or go look at that if you want guidance. But anything I have pinned in my list is what I use. I don't ever pin something if I don't love it. Snow! Somebody's, where are you? In Canada, Alaska? Where are you that you got snow? Let me see. Patty? Where are you? You're not, where are you that you got snow? Snow cone? I gotta know. You're not that far up. Where are you? Now, obviously, I'll have to go to a smaller brush to get around all of this space, but y'all like that blue? Painting snow. I was like, did she go on some kind of cruise, or where is she that she's got snow? Okay, so the rest of that I will have to use a smaller brush. Just turn it around. I always say that too. Turn your painting to where you can, you know, obviously I'm doing the upside down thing for you guys, but I turn it, when I'm just by myself, I'll turn it however I need to get the best vantage point. Yeah, I like this blue too. Yeah, I know. Who's the coolest? Who has the coolest temps of everybody on here? Somebody said 60, and I can't remember if that was Linda Williams or Linda, was that you? And I believe Ohio. Kind of giving this a jagged edge so that the tree, but we can put some more green on here if I need to. Okay. I honestly kind of like this dimension that I have. I didn't plan on that, but I think it looks kind of cool, like maybe a cloudy night sky or something. Are you guys bored? I feel like if it takes me a long time to do like a background, that everybody's just getting so bored. I have a plan. If you guys are on TikTok, you've got to go find me. I need some friends on there, because when I get to 1,000, I'll be able to go live there. Oh, thank you, Mary, for sprinkling. I get to see you twice today. And when I go live there, I'm really excited about it because I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to try going live just painting and not talking. I'm just going to see if it works, because, you know, I'm technically a little old for TikTok. Well, I mean, I am old for TikTok. But, so I don't want to get on there and try to talk to everybody, you know, and like, you know, because they're going to be mostly younger people probably. But I'm going to just try and see. I don't know. I just have this idea that might work for, I think some people want to watch, but they don't want all the chit chat. Okay. How's that look to you guys? Okay. I'm looking in my camera to see if it looks okay. It is relaxing. You guys know, I'm sure a lot of you guys follow Debbie. Oh, it just went blank. Viola. She is in New York, and she's a beautiful, realistic painter. Well, you know, I say realistic, she's a fine artist, and she does a lot of abstract art that's beautiful. So you can see I've got a ton of paint on my brush even still, so I'm going to wipe it off really well before I put it in my water. Get some of that off. Thank you. Hi, Sissa. That's twice in one day for you, too. I'm glad you're here again. Thank you. Sprinkle me out there, guys. I would appreciate it. Not, oh, you are on TikTok, Mary? Awesome. Well, you know, I might even be following you, don't know it. I try to, anybody that follows me, I try to follow them unless it's a creep. And there are creeps on there, y'all. There's a lot of creeps on there, to be honest. So, I could be following you and don't even remember. I need to go through and ban some people, but I just haven't had time to mess with it. So I just got these detail brushes from Amazon today. So I've already washed them. When you get new brushes, take them out of the package and go rinse them real well in some warm water. It's because they put a little bit of, I don't know what it is. I don't want to really call it sealer, but a little bit of, it's a glue type substance, because you know when you get brushes, you've seen how neat and to a point and crisp they are. It's because there's a little something on there that you need to wash off. Because your grandchildren, Patty, that's hilarious. Why? Is it because they send you things or you want to see them? Like, what do you mean? But I'm liking them so far. I never put, the ladies that follow me regularly, like Christy Reynolds, has been with me from day one. She knows I don't put anything on my Amazon list or in my Amazon store or website or anything unless I love it. So I'll have to use these brushes for a while, see how they last before I put them on there. But if I really like them, I'll put them on there, because I'm always looking for good brushes that are inexpensive. And these are a good price. They're a fair price for as many brushes as you get. And I just got them on Amazon. I mean, it's not a secret. I'll tell you if you want to know what they are. I'm just saying, I'm not going to go putting them on my list to say, ooh, get these. They're really good, until I really have used them for a while. I like to see how they last after multiple washes and all that. Yeah, I know, Mary. I think it's weirdos and they don't care. I don't know, but it's really annoying. There's just so many people out there, and you know, they'll put a profile picture of somebody they're not, clearly, you know. It's, ugh. Okay. I like that background. I like that blue. This gives you two kind of ideas. So you've got the stained look, and then you've got a nighttime look. If you had a flat board that maybe you just went and got at Lowe's, or you have a scrap, you could even do like a Christmas one on one side and a fall one on the other, or whatever. So lots of options for you. Okay, set all this aside. It's all in my way. Now, let's start doing his hat. We don't like, I mean, this is going to go pretty quick once we can get to painting this. The blue looks like a Minnesota night sky. How cool. I bet that's beautiful. Thank you, Patty. I love these. These are Victoria Emerson. It's just a brand, and I have always loved this jewelry. So I have a few, and then last Christmas, my kids and April gave me several watch bands. They're beautiful. They look just like this, but they hold my watch. But I typically just wear this one because I can even sleep in this. Sometimes for church I will change them out, but I love this jewelry. It's really, really pretty. It's a little pricey, so it's more for me. I only get it, you know, for special occasions or something. Okay, so let's do a red hat. I wanted to show you too, we'll have a better outcome if we put down some gray. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? But let me get my white here. If you'll put down some gray before you paint your red, it will go on so much better and have a lot better look. Your yellow, orange, red, they're all pretty translucent. And so putting down gray just makes that red look much better. So I told you, remember how I got that little blue mark in here? But I'm coming through here with this gray, so I just covered it right up. And I forgot to mention that because I put that base down of the sealer, multi-purpose sealer. The paint is going on much better than usual, so I really need to do that. I told you I don't always do it. I just use chalk paint a lot. Especially if you were going to give, I always say, if I'm going to give art away or sell it or something, of course I'm going to use the good products. But when I'm just teaching, a lot of times I don't. But I really should, because it does make a difference, and I need to be, you know, be the example and show you guys. We're just always in a hurry. A lot of times we have limited time and like 45 minutes or whatever. What was that, Sandra? I'm trying, Brenda. I really have made a conscious effort to teach, not just get on here and paint and chit chat, because I do and I love it, but to remember to give you all the tips and tricks that you need. That's how we learn. And I know, I think I get into the mindset of everybody on here has painted for years. They know it all. But I'll get a comment sometimes. Somebody will message me at like an inbox message and ask something that is so basic. And then that reminds me, I gotta quit thinking everybody knows everything. Not that anybody can, but you know what I'm saying. I've got to remember that not everybody has been painting for years and years, So it's good to share our tips. And I still get tons of tips from other people watching them. Now this isn't quite the same gray because I didn't put enough of the black in here, but it's fine. Just any gray underneath is fine. You'll see. Oh, Paula, that's a great compliment. Thank you for saying that. I love that. That's part of what I love, I love getting on here and teaching, because I want y'all to love it if you don't already. A lot of y'all do love it. But it just has helped me so much with anxiety and dealing with difficult situations and things. And I know it can do that for other people. So I'm always like, I just need to tell everybody, between Jesus and painting, life is a lot easier. There's no way we will ever get out without having lots of issues. I mean, this world is just full of them. But we have to find the things that help us, and art helps. And having a community of people, I've never been more convinced in my life. Oh, look what I did. Did y'all see me put my hand in that? I didn't even notice. I sure did. I put it. Yes, Mary. Use what you have. Heck yes. All babies are eating dinner. Debbie has cats. And do you have puppies? I'm trying to think now. I feel like all I ever see is cats. Hi, Karen. How are you tonight? Hello, Carol. No, I said hi to you. Sorry. I was thinking, did I say it? It is therapy, Juliana. Exactly. It so is. Okay, so I'll fix that. I think I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so if the hat's red, do we want red pants or another color? We could do green, but we've got a green tree here. I think I did green in the other one. Where did I put that? Oh, I did do green. So do y'all like it like this? You want to see green? Green pants? We could do a little buffalo plaid on them. There. Set that up where y'all can kind of see it. Let's see if y'all said 1 cat, 4 dogs. Okay. Thank you, Mindy. How are you doing? St. Bernard service dog. Oh, ooh, I would love to. I have never painted animals. I think that would be great. Well, I've painted a pig, a horse, a cow, but not like a dog or a pet. Okay, plaid will be cute. When y'all say plaid, do you mean plaid or do you mean buffalo check? Because plaid, I'm trying to think, like, I need to see an example. I think it's just some stripes. So we'll do green with the stripes or whatever. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, guys, but I'm just grateful to be doing this, and it's just really helpful. So I hope that that's how you find it, and it probably is, and that's probably why you're here. Always say, you know, you kind of gravitate to the people you need, or vice versa. And I'm just really, I've got great people that come and watch and hang out. I'll go to a smaller brush to get that little edge right here. And then I'll do my beard and might have to come back. But this is my first coat of that green. Now, I kind of like my Christmas tree. I told y'all I was going to come back and do more to it. It's really not bad. I'm going to just come in here and add a little bit of darkness here down at the bottom. Y'all see my palette. So I just kind of will get some green with some black and get it pretty dark, and then come in here and put some dark down here. You know, this is super whimsical, so it doesn't matter, but just, we know that things on the bottom are darker than things at the top because you've got some light shining. So I typically just will do some darkness down there and then just work a little bit through the tree. Just basically kind of dry brushing it on. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. Living in the double hook sticks that will live the stars. Oh. Thank you, Patty. Okay. So let's do our beard. Sorry, I'm getting out of order. This is not the order that I was planning on, I guess, because now I was like, wait, the beard's not next, but it's gonna be next because I've got red all over my palette, but I'm gonna do the beard. Okay, I have done gnome beards lots of different ways. We're going to start with just getting some white on here. I kind of go up to the edges. We can go over the edges in a second, but I just want to be sure I get all up to the edges on this first round. Go around his little nose. This is a round brush that I'm using. And when you have a round brush, it really is great for movement and curves. So I typically use this one for beards. I'm going to need to add some of that navy because it's really bothering me to look down and see that. Let's just stop before this all dries up and put a little bit on here. When you mix your own paints, you want to make more than you think you'll need, because sure enough, you'll do something like this to where you have to go back and paint over it, and you don't want to have to try to color match. So always mix more than you think you'll need if you're going to do that. This is a good chance for me to kind of come back here and add a little more anyway down here. back to the beard. So like I said, I'm just getting kind of a base coat of for our beard. But I do go with the motion of a beard. So, you know, downward strokes. And if you notice, I'm kind of letting my brush do, like put it down, lift it up. Put it down, lift it up. And that will just continue to kind of form this beard-like look. Even though it's a base coat, it still helps. And then here, that's not quite dry yet, but I'll show you how I do the bottom of the beard in just a second. So let me get as close as I can to that green without touching it. And we'll do his hat while that is drying, and then come back and finish that beard. Oh, see, I touched it. Okay. So we can let that sit and rest while we do the hat. Where do you get the boards? Juliana, I only give that information to the ladies in my membership group because I really like to reward them and just give them special things. But you can look at Amazon, any craft store will have some. You know, you can get them almost anywhere. Anybody that's in the VIP group gets discounts on all the things I do, and I give them kind of my secrets. So I've got to reserve some things for them because I just appreciate them so much, and that's one thing I can do, you know, to help them. So I hope you guys understand. Went over just a touch here, which really doesn't matter. But since it's wet, I can just quickly grab it up. You know, sometimes you need to switch to a smaller brush for the tip of things. And like I said, I just typically go for it and don't. And you'll notice that I've got my round brush because this is a curved item. And this helps me just kind of go right along with the curves. Again, I went over. If you grab it really quick, it's much easier. People always say, you make it look so easy to paint upside down, but that's what happens. It's not as easy as it looks. And you can easily mess up because you just don't have the same perspective as if you're looking at it. You'll notice I'm just pretty much doing a lot of this middle right now. This is my, what I call kind of a base coat of the red. I'll go back and add a little bit of darker red for some shadowing in a minute. But you can just kind of quickly get on your base red. Let's see. Oh, thank you. I hope so. Hi, Kim. How are you? Hola, Manny. How are you, Manny? And Kim, I'm so glad to see you, and I hope that you're feeling better. I'm praying for you. I didn't know you were feeling under the weather, but I'm hoping that you will be back in business. Manny, what do you think about our Texas heat? So, Manny, our air went out today. We did get it fixed, but I was kind of panicking. And didn't yours go out not too long ago? I know we've had several people in our group that have had their air out. It's just, I don't think they're made. I'm taking a baby wipe and just cleaning up that little edge right here. Because again, when you're in a corner, you should really be using a smaller brush. But Deb didn't. Manny. Well, you amaze me every time I look at your paper items. I mean, listen, guys, put your business link, will you? Put your you know, come in here as your business or just list it. If y'all are not following Manny, you're missing out. You can't believe what he can do and what he can create. And not just on his business page, you need to take a second and look at his Etsy shop. It's fascinating to me. And I want to go meet up with him sometime because we're really close. We're only about an hour away. And see his, you know, work in action, just live. So just getting the red on here kind of quickly and easily, no big deal. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we could technically call it done. Because of the gray, this red went on so smooth and it's got a rich color. So it's not translucent like it would be if I just had one coat. And do y'all see me letting the brush do the work? That's the ticket. Using the right brush and letting it go against that edge. There it is. Okay, you guys. Hi, Jeanette. And you come in as your business. You guys, anybody who, if you have a business, you're welcome to go out, come back in with your business name if you're able to do that. Some people say they're not able to. But I did prime it, yeah. I primed it with our sealer and then with that gray. But I mean, I always think, you know, people will click on your name and be interested. So I love supporting you guys. Many of you support me when I come on your pages. You give me a shout out, and you'll know who I, you know, if I'm giving them a shout out, they're worth going to see. Okay, I'm gonna take my red, and I got some black on my brush, a little too much, but I'm gonna just mix in some black and make it a dark red. Just kind of back and forth, getting that worked in. Mary, I can't remember the name of your business. I know you changed it and it's something about beach, but it's gonna take me a minute to, oh yeah, Colleen, it'll be here. How would you add the log by S to this? How would you add the log by S? You mean lights? Thank you, Melissa. How are you? I saw you earlier. Debbie, I bet you meant the lights. And yes, pre-drill your holes before you start painting. And that's what I did here on the tree. Okay, so I'm going to take that darker red. And I'm going to get a little bit of the lighter red as well. Actually, hold on. I think I'm good. I'm going to try this red and just see how dark it is. And I'm going to come in here on the inside and just kind of work down this little side and then around here. I am going to dip now into my red immediately and kind of work this little, just right around that edge of it where it stops being dark, and kind of just blend it so that it's not just real harsh. Now see that? Hi Bridget, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? LOL lights, yes. Ocean Breeze and me. So you guys check out Mary. She's my dear friend. She is an amazing crafter and just is recently gotten in with Craft Around the Clock, which I'm a presenter for. So I'm super happy to get to be with her there too. She really did great things for our Alzheimer's Association fundraiser, and just a wonderful lady. Mary, what do you, I'm just taking this darker color and kind of giving some shadow here and there. What would you say your specialty is, Mary? What do you enjoy doing the most? And then I'm going to kind of come back in with my regular red and just be sure everything's kind of blended together. If I wanted to, I could put in some lighter red, but I think I'm good. Just putting some shadows into that. Thank you, Laurel. This is just, again, another way to do it. You can double load a flat brush and do it that way. And That works really well, but on whimsical paintings like this, I don't typically do that. I just kind of put them throughout. To get a lighter red, if I wanted a lighter red, I would want to grab another bottle of red, because if I was going to try to lighten it up, watch what's going to happen. It's just going to turn pink when I mix white with it. So I'll just grab another bottle of red if I wanted to lighten it up. There's the crafty brother. Justin, come in as your business. I'm sure everybody here knows Justin, but you guys, be sure and check everybody out that's coming in, because these are my friends and you will love them. Okay. Oh, now I'm nervous because Justin is the gnome king. He does so many great gnomes. Well, you do paint, and you paint better than I do, but he makes a lot of gnomes, and they're fantastic. The crafting and art community is so big, and everybody has things that they kind of specialize in or, you know, gravitate to. So there's room for everybody. And I really, really, really love the crafters and you know, people who just have that mentality of sharing each other and helping each other, and you know, not competing. We're just different. The people who, I always say, can tolerate me, you know, that's a certain type of people. So I'm not for everybody, but that's okay. There's lots of other people that are. Okay, so we've got our first base of our beard. I'm going to come in here and do a little gray. So I'm going to take my round brush. I need a new round brush. I said earlier, this thing is really not wanting to make a point anymore. Chalking, not a put. I know you're not. I know you're not. Yes, I just consider you like a general all-around crafter. I didn't know if there was something that you prefer over one thing or the other. Hi, Marty. How are you? Oh, man, you've been doing some great Christmas stuff, Marty. I've been really enjoying seeing that. Oh, Manny, thank you. That's the best thing I think anybody can do for us. I've got to get a little new white because my white was had a little red in it, so I'm getting some new white. We're going to make a little gray. So where's my black? Oh, cool. So, oh, Becky, that's awesome. I can never remember the name. This is my friend Becky Noterman. She lives in Oklahoma, and she does amazing resin cups. Is that what, resin cups? You tell us if there's something else you want them to know. I think I am going to find a smaller brush. That brush is just too big for what I'm wanting to do on this beard. Hold up. Let's see what I got to work with here. None of those are going to work. Maybe I can find one in here. You think? I have a lot of brushes. But the problem is that a lot of them are very old and just, this one's good, and just not doing the trick anymore. And I've had better. Let me just see. I want a round brush about a number 4, and I can't find one. Number 4. This will work. Okay, so I'm going to take, oh, I didn't make enough. I think when I try to read comments, I get out of my element. I'm not able to talk, and I'm going to start making some like beard strokes with this gray. This is all about layers, guys, so don't freak out because we are going to come back with some white, but this is just one way to make a gnome beard. And I kind of let this go over his outfit, you know, a little bit. And remember, we're going to put white on top of it. This is kind of just a step in the process. So I'm going down in a downward motion like it would with a round brush. I know. I really don't need new brushes. I just need to take care of the ones that I get so that they don't. I really get mad at myself because I used to be so good and not leave them in water. And I don't know what has happened to me. Okay, so then we're going to let this layer dry. But just letting your brush make the marks for that gray beard. Let's do his nose. For his nose, I take white, a little touch of brown, and then just a dot of pink. And sometimes I might put a little tiny dot of yellow if I'm really trying to get a certain color. It's just whatever you like. You know, if you want a pinker nose, add more pink. If you don't want the pink in it, don't add the pink. Maybe you want a really dark one, use dark brown. Sometimes I think, you know, that we try to match our own skin colors, basically what I tend to do. Again, a round brush so that it will curve for you. And it's okay if I go over the beard just a little bit. We'll add, remember we're just doing this in layers, so we'll add another round of white in just a second. Is that dark enough? Might need to be a little darker. You do, Patty? You know, that's better than what I've been doing, just leaving them in. I just really have let some get ruined, and I hate that. Just mixing up just a little bit more. Make it just a little bit darker. And then while I'm doing this, I'm also going to put a tad more brown, and this color right here will be our shadow that I put just right under his nose. So, you know how I tell you, just keep adding a little bit black. Well, this is just adding a little brown to get it a little darker, and that will go under his nose. So, and then we'll add a little more white and just kind of do a real light highlight at the top of his nose. It's pretty subtle, but I hope you can see that. I'm going to hold this here a second to be sure, until I can see it on my iPad, to be sure I can that I've got it where it needs to be. So you can just really barely oh, y'all, I'm not holding it in the right spot. You can barely tell. I should have added a little more of the brown, I guess, so that you could tell, but just kind of come in here with a little bit darker on the bottom. And it should be subtle. You don't want it to be super, super obvious. And then just lighter at the top. I'll even take like a detail brush and do one thin strip of white at the top. Like that. I'll do kind of blend it in. Good, I'm glad you like it. Okay. We got shoes and his little pom-pom thing. Shoes we'll do black. You guys, somebody remind me to do snow. I keep forgetting that I'm going to add some snow on here. And if you came on late, all you have to do is go up in the description of this video and you can go to the link to get the tracer. And I am selling this as a kit for anybody who doesn't want to go try to find all the supplies. It'll have everything you need in the kit, including the board. The only thing it won't have is it won't have the lights. And you can even choose if you want me to drill the holes for you or if you just want it plain with no holes. Next step of the little dress, and then we'll add some plaid, which will be super fast because it's tiny. You want the holes, Debbie? Yeah. While I'm doing some, I should just go ahead and knock them out, right? I think I said when I made the listing for it, I think I said I would do 25 holes, but tonight I did 20 because the fairy lights that I had 20. Before I did 25, so I kind of was like, well, maybe I should only do 20. Maybe that's safer, because if you buy one that has 20 at the Dollar Tree, then I might ask everybody what they want. I don't know. Okay, so I'm sitting here trying to not have to get more green out. I'm going to get a little green and mix just a little bit of black with it to put on a little bit of shadow. And I'm going to get some fresh black, a black Ziki. Y'all still doing okay? Santa Elf, Marty. Oh, Marty, you guys have to go see how Marty paints. This is so just whimsical and basic. Her painting is so amazing. Very, very beautiful painting. Marty, what's the style? What do you call that? Very detailed, and it's just gorgeous. So I just kind of want a subtle shadow down here. I don't want it to be crazy. Hi, Marty. How are you? I've got two Martys on with me tonight. Good to see you. Are you not line dancing tonight? I feel like I need to be practicing so when you come to Texas we can go line dancing. I added just a little bit of white to my green to put some light up here. And I'll just kind of, you'll see how I'm just kind of working it through. I don't want it to be like solid or anything. So just like the sun shining or the moon is shining on him. So you've just got a little variety in there. And then we'll put some, okay, y'all, tell me how to do plaid. I don't think I've ever painted plaid. So is it like a bigger line and then a small line? I don't know. Fun art, I feel like it's a lot more detailed. It's really, really well done. And she sells her art. Where do you sell, Marty? I don't know where, I guess, do you have a website, or is it just in events or what? You guys can tell me. So like if you're on here, you have a business and you have something to share with us, don't sell, but you can tell us, you know, like what's going on, what do you have going on, you know, and then when people come along and read it, they might want to click on it and go. Okay, let's do some glitter. We'll do the plaid when that dries. And let's see. Somebody tell me how to do plaid, because I just can't picture it, but I believe it's like a bigger stripe and then a little stripe, so I don't know. Let's finish his beard. So I'm going to come back in here to some white. That's dried up. I have a fan blowing to try to cool off this room, so it's drying my paint out faster than usual. So a lot of times I'll go to a little smaller round brush when I'm going down. Yes, Marty, tell us your page name. Oh, okay. Crafty Gals Online Market. But what's your page name so they can go see it? So anyway, you've got kind of larger hair movements here, and I'm coming in with a little bit smaller brush, and you'll see that it kind of fits in. Now, I'm not necessarily going to worry about it, but I kind of, my first round, am trying to hit on top of those gray ones. But, I do obviously do this pretty quick, and I'm not going to spend any time worrying about it. I'm just, if I can kind of catch on top of those, it lets the shadow of them show, but we're covering most of it up. Kind of get pretty full up around his nose. And then I'm just kind of, I know I'm upside down, but I'm kind of looking for places where I see either a lot of gray or kind of a hole, and I just kind of touch down. And just kind of real lightly touch down. So it's a pretty small little piece. There we go, Rise and Shine Craft Corner. I couldn't pull it out of my head. Marty, thank you. Oh, Tamara, are you saying you've got a page you need to upload pictures? That's awesome. See, isn't it fun? Because while you guys are watching this, you can open up another tab and go check out Marty. And I love this kind of community, that's we're just hanging out and having fun. Okay, so we've got our thing, it's dry. Let's put some paint on it. Oh, I feel like I need to really hurry. I feel so bad. I feel like I've kept y'all way too long. And that's why sometimes I don't teach as much when I paint, because it does take me a little longer to go through and talk about everything and show you different things. But I hope that that's okay with y'all. Thank you, Linda. Thanks, Karen. Oh, thanks, Sally. Okay. So let's do that little pom-pom. How about silver this time? I think I did the other one gold, right? Yes, I did gold. Let's do silver, just for something different. Thank you, Patty. You're so sweet to me. The last time I was like, I'm so hot. And you're like, it's okay, calm down. Okay, so this is my, okay, let me just back up and say, I do not get paid by DecoArt. I am an affiliate. I asked them if I could be an affiliate because I use their products almost exclusively. I use other things sometimes, but I just find that I like their stuff best. It just is what I like. It doesn't matter to me what anybody else uses. I'm not a DecoArt snob. If I love it and use it, I'm going to talk about it and share it with you, okay? So I don't care if you buy it or not. The only way I would get anything, I'd get like 3% or something very small if you click on the DecoArt in my Amazon store, okay? Which I would appreciate, I do. But I'm not telling you to go, like that'd be silly, Anyway, when you see me talking about the products, I feel like you're thinking, gosh, she just pushes their products. It's just what I use, so... Anyway, I wanted to say that. I try to say that sometimes so that people know I don't care what anybody else uses. I just truly, really love their products. I'm going to put down some gray first. This would take too many coats to just do the silver. So let me put down a little gray real quick. Yeah, Marty, I know. There are people that do, and so I'm grateful when y'all tell me that so that I'm like, good, because I feel like I'm always talking about deco art, and it's not like I get anything for it, you know. I guess I would if I pushed my links and everything, but I don't. Because 3%, I mean, you know, I just truly, truly like the stuff. It works well. Everything that I try, I don't think I've tried anything that they make that I have not liked. The paint has great coverage, so you know, just a little bit of black and a little bit of white. We're going to get some gray on here. And then the silver the little glitter will show up much better. They have several different glitter type products, and the Twinkles is usually my favorite. I do like the bigger glitters sometimes for some things, but I use the Twinkles more than I use anything else, and that's this one, and it's very, very fine glitter. So let me see if you can see that. Very fine. And it's, you know, enclosed in this kind of gluey like paint, so no mess. You don't have to put glue and then sprinkle your glitter over it. So I'll just leave that there, and we'll put some more in a minute. Let it dry. And I know I feel like I've missed a lot of comments. It's not watery. It is better quality. That's what I mean about if you buy, I mean, I hate to say a brand, but like for me, Apple Barrel is thin. It doesn't cover very well. Would I use it? Yes. Do I have a problem with it? No. But my go-to is going to be this one because it does have great coverage. Colors are vibrant. They have some, you know, great selection. So I think we all just gravitate to what we like, and that's okay. Thank you, Sabra. Thank you, thank you. I don't know about Prisma glitter. I don't know about that one, so maybe not. Okay. And so we're letting that dry. Let's do our stripes. Did anybody tell me how to do plaid? Christy, come on, how to do plaid. I guess I could pull up a picture, but I really don't want to do that. I don't see it. I think I may just have to go for it, and if it's crazy wrong, that's okay. You'll just be like, that lady didn't even know how to do plaid. So, how about red? I don't know. I feel like it's like a thin stripe, right? And then maybe a thick stripe. I don't know. Somebody help. Two and three interwoven colors. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was doing, I guess. 2 or 3 interwoven colors. I do like these detail brushes so far. Just using them, they appear to be really good. It's so fun getting new brushes, any kind of paint supplies, but if I ever have money, extra money, you know, I'm always like, let me see what's on my list next. I'm just like, that's my go-to. I don't care about clothes or shoes or purses. I want art supplies. I keep looking to see if anybody's given me the big blocks. I don't know. Yes, thin, thick blocks. So some are thin, some are thick. I don't know, guys. This probably is not going to be like plaid. And then, so would it be a different color? Pinstripes? Do thick lines down, then across, then thin lines of another color in between. Ooh, Marty, that's good. That's good description. Okay, so another color, y'all, like black or white. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I don't know. It's really. I mean, I can picture pinstripe. Or not pinstripe, but plaid pants. You can't make a bad plaid. But I feel like there was a lot going on in the ones that are in my head. So they're gray, and there's like a burgundy, and I don't know. That's the plaid I'm thinking. How about these are just going to be whimsical lines? Oh, Sherry, thank you. You're so sweet. I don't think, I don't. Oh, goodness, that was a lot. I don't think we've had a Stars Party. I think Facebook is mad at me for not going live very often. I don't know, y'all. I'm going to put some white in here. And we're just going to wing it. Because I don't know. It's just a little whimsical fun painting anyway. Not straight or anything, so it's okay. Thank you, guys. Are we having a stars party? Why is everybody giving me stars? Thank you. Y'all are awesome. I love when I go back and read the comments, and usually more than one of you are like, yay, you made the stars party. I'm like, oh, y'all are so sweet to want that for me. I love that. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe some thick ones like this. Yes, you do you, sweetie. You're right, Sandra. It'll be okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Deborah and Sherry, for the stars. I appreciate you guys. Lately, the last few weeks, I have not had even the little icon at the bottom to get stars. Thank you, Christy. I don't know why. I've gone to the place where you go to see if I had any issues or problem. No, I don't know why. It's just gone. So when I'm watching a live, I can't give anybody stars. I had the button one time over the last few weeks, and I did. I sent stars, but that's the only time I've had it, and I haven't had it since. Okay, that might be sort of a plaid, right? What do y'all think? I don't know either, Sally. I'm glad I can, but I don't know how either. Okay, so we're going to make his shoes show up a little bit. We're going to put a little highlight here. I think I'm going to do the whole shoe because, so I'm going to do a little highlight across the top of each one and then kind of the curve of it like that so that you can see it. How's his beard looking to y'all? Y'all like the beard? Okay. Let's put some more of this on the... And then I thought I would do some snowflakes or something on his hat for something different. You love it, Patty? Thank you. Okay. So this is a stencil. You guys can pick these up at Dollar Tree. Not this one. This is a good quality essential stencil. And on my website, I have a link for you to get 10% off if you want to use that. You use the link and put in ES Art Grace, and that stands for Essential Stencils Art Grace, and you get 10% off. These are great quality, but I'm going to be honest, you know, if you just want, you know, if you're at the Dollar Tree and you see some stencils, grab them, because for $1.25 you cannot beat that. But I do use these and love them. They're excellent quality, so they're worth the money, especially when they have their great sales. But don't turn down a $1.25 stencil. So I will put some paint. Sorry, this is a Michaels stencil brush, but you can, you know, get them anywhere. So I load my brush pretty good, but then I offload it over here like I'm doing, and then I even touch it down on a paper towel. So I take even more off with that paper towel so that not a lot is left. It's in there, but it's not just goopy. You love stencils, Marty? And then just whatever you think. Like we could put one big one, that's way too big. We could put a big one on there if we wanted to. I don't know, I'm trying to picture how it would look. I still think it's too big. I think I'm just gonna use some little ones and just see that? I forgot about this. I can't just lay it down like I wanted to. Here it is. Put it down, hold it down real good. Can y'all see this? Hope you can. And then pounce. I'm pouncing up and down. Now you can do the circle. I'll show you that too. Either way, it's whatever you're used to. And okay. And that will put down the paint. Let me show it to you. Look how perfect that is. So it is a good stencil and it gives you great results. I'm going to show you another thing you can do with these. Where is my snow? So we could take snow and just get some out and kind of do the same thing with that snow. So I'm just going to move over here and I'll do a smaller one, I guess. Well, I want that big one. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I'm having to go in between this paint and that is wet. So I'm going to just pounce this down. Okay, I'm just pouncing it with my finger and I hope y'all can see this. It hadn't shown up on my iPad yet to see. So just pouncing it down. I've got it all over that stencil and then I'm just going to lift it up. And now you've got the Snow Tech snow. Can y'all see that? Let's see, like that. Yes, it does. It gives you texture to pounce it up and down. Yep. Fluffing his beard on the sides. Yes, you can definitely, totally bring out his beard, make it wild, give him a mustache. There's so much you can do. You do not have to just do it, you know, the way I did mine. Let's do a couple of more little ones. And just try to lift it straight up. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. Thank you, thank you. Let's do a star. Oh, we should do our stars on the sky. I feel like I need to let y'all go. This has been a long one. And I know you can't see this because this is covering it, but let me turn. I'm gonna do this star right here and I will show you the swirl. So you can just swirl it on there. As long as you've got it down against the wood really well, you just swirl it. So all of those methods work. Sometimes it's personal preference. Practice on a piece of cardboard or something. You did! I can't wait to see yours. The best part when you guys order a kit from me is seeing yours when you're done. I mean, I'm like a mama where I'm like, oh my gosh, look what, I'll go show my husband. And I mean, it's just really fun for me to see what y'all do. And usually half the time, I like it better than what I did. So it's just really fun for me to see you guys enjoy something that I created. Thank y'all for the hearts. Facebook loves that. Thank you, Shirley, for the stars. Okay, let's do one or two more and then we'll move on and get our tree lit up. You see, I'm having to be kind of careful. I moved that. That's my fault. I just moved the stencil, so that may not be perfect. It looks pretty good though. Just a little bit. That's pretty good. And then if you're still working and you don't want to stop, and I don't see my baby wipes, they're covered up, but take a baby wipe and just rub off that snow or whatever you use to help keep your stencil nicer. But I'll tell you, sometimes I don't, and it's okay, they still work. Then you can go in with your Snow Tex and add it right on top of the paint, or you can paint your bottom white if you want to. But you know, you can just come on here and add it. This is pretty dry because I've had it for over a year. I have a newer bucket of it, not bucket, but container. But if it's dry, just add a little bit of white paint. This is, I don't really know what Snow Tex is exactly, and there is a recipe for, you know, for you to make your own, but I mean, I don't add very much paint when I do this, just a little bit to. Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much for sprinkling me out. I appreciate it. Thank you, Celian. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mindy and Sandra and Christy. I'm really glad y'all like it. I'll be really excited to see what everybody else does with theirs. If there's elements that I really like, then I try not to cover them up, like his shoes. I'll show you what I do. And that tree, I'm going to kind of leave some of the base a little bit because I really like the base. It gives you that brown, you know, kind of. But you can use your fingers if you want to. I'm just using a craft stick. But you saw how the paint that I added made this go on a lot easier now. So just a little bit of paint in there if it gets too dry. And I keep the lid on it, so I really don't leave it open or anything. But, so just kind of come down so that his shoes still show a little bit. I don't want to cover them up. Just kind of, what I say is buck up to the shoe with that snow. And then on the sides of it or something, I'll go higher. If you've never used Snow Tex, it's so much fun. I use it on my ceramic trees, on anything ceramic, and I use it on a lot of my art, you know, because this is fun art. You can do that in the winter. And this will be dry in the morning when I wake up. It just dries overnight. I do not seal over. Oh, y'all, I forgot that was wet and I just scraped it. I just scraped it. Anyway, that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry. No stressing with art. It's just fun. And everything can be fixed. So don't worry. You've never used it, Mindy. You would love it. I put some of this in the kit so that if anybody wants to try it, you know, they'll have it. Let's put the lights on here. This is as good as I'm going to do for now. I'll go back and perfect it a little bit, fix any little mistakes, because, you know, upside down work is not always the best. I put my lights right here. The kind of lights that I like to use are fairy lights. However, you can use, I'm sure, any kind that you find. You know, these have a small enough light that the hole, you saw what size drill bit I used, the hole doesn't have to be huge. But you could definitely use a bigger one and put in like regular Christmas lights. You know what I'm talking about? Just regular Christmas lights. These are called fairy lights, and see, my fingers are so dirty you cannot see. There's that light right there. It's very tiny. Now, there is a technique to this. So I'm going to start with my first light, and I'm going to bend that wire. Just bend it so that it's just bent back down on the light, or right beside the light. And then I'm going to take that and go to the top hole and put this through my hole that I've drilled. And it does sometimes take a little wiggling, but then when it comes through the other side, I'm afraid I'm going to get this all over me, this snow. Just bend this over. Okay? Now, this, you can hot glue these down. It's no problem to hot glue your wire to your board. Here's what I do, because so far these have just been for me, you know, I just have them here in the house. I will take painter's tape and tape this down, because I don't want that light to move. If I don't tape it down, this light could kind of pop out farther or move around. Now I know it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay just like that. And we need a star up here. I thought I would do some, what do you call it? You know, the bling. The bling. You've never put fairy lights on anything. Oh. And then you just go to the next. So, if this is for you and you don't mind the painter's tape, you could do that. Or if you're going to give this as a gift, or you just want a nicer look, then hot glue it down right back here if you want to. So the next one, I'm just bending it over again so that it's just flush with that light, and it's going to go into the next hole, and so on and so on and so on. Now, I can do every last one of these for you guys so you can see, or I can just hold up the other one. It's up to you. I don't know if you guys are ready to get off of here. Totally Dazzled, thank you. Yes, I have a link for that on my website as well. If anybody wants it, just go to artgracepaint.com, and I do have that in the description of the video. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with it. I love it. I don't use it enough because so much of what I do is art, not crafts. But I do love crafts and love using it. Now, if it kind of gets stuck and I can't get it, I will gently, and this isn't what I usually, here's what I usually use. I'll take like a little ice pick or something that has a little pokey thing that I can get down in that light and pull it out. And then I just kind of bend it over a little bit. See what I mean when I say bend that little light over so it stays there. And then I come back and tape the next one down. That's the process. Not hard. It's time consuming, but not hard. Super easy. Y'all. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad then. I'm really glad. I know, that's the thing, Sandra, is typically I would not be doing this process with this snow wet and everything. I'm going to mess it up to keep doing it, but it's totally up to y'all. If y'all want to stay, I'll do it. But if you don't care, it's an essential stencil. Yeah, essential stencil. I've not even heard of the Studio R12. But I'm glad that that technique shows you. Oh, thank you, Patty, and welcome, Natalie. I'm glad you're here. If you're interested, go back and watch. You can always scrub fast on the replays, which is nice. But I feel like once I showed y'all this a couple of times, you would get it. You just take it right at the light, and I'm going to hold this up where you can see. It is folded over right at the light. Do you see that? And then you can just poke it through the next hole. Oh, see, I'm going to miss one by when I tape that down. Then see that next one. You just go in the order that they're drilled, one after another, and you don't want to miss any, or you'll have a hole with no light, and you don't want to have to restring them. But you can do this. I'm sorry, y'all. When I did that, my dog thought somebody knocked on the door. Blue Bear. Oh, that's good, Rhonda. What I sealed the board with. Yes, Patty. Here it is. All-purpose sealer. Yes, Laurel, I do. The only difference is it's got, you know, different design. But here's what it looks like. Can y'all see it lit up? I don't know if you can see because I've got so many lights on in here. But it's super cute at night. I have it sitting on a shelf, you know, behind me. And like last night I forgot about it and came back in here and I was like, oh, because at night it's just lit up really cute. So at Christmas, this will be even more special. This is what I showed you at the beginning, how to do what I call faux stain. So that's one version, or you could do a night sky. You could do whatever you want. I think I may, after I get off of here, add a few stars, maybe add some snow. I'm not sure what I'll do, but I need to do something with the sky, and I think it'll be super cute. I also think that the lights that have like red, yellow, blue, you know, those would be pretty in here too. This is just what I had available. Thank you. You like the white lines or lights? Oh, and guys, almost forgot to say the glitter. I give you in the kit if you want it, all the glitter you need to do the hat and the tree and the little ball. Can y'all see that? And you don't have to use it. Save it for another Christmas project if you don't want to use it. But this is what, you know, they're twinkles, which I said that's one of my favorite ways to use glitter because there's no mess, but that's what these are. And I can't remember if I have already put the supplies that I used on the page. When you download the tracer, I think I did, but if I didn't, I can certainly add that or just put it on the post or something. I'll do that. I'll put it as a post so that you can see all of the supplies in one place. That, the sealer, the snow tags, you know, and the paint colors. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. It's always fun to hang out and chit chat with you guys while I paint. The white outlines look great. White outlines. Do you mean on the pants? Oh, Deb, I want to say, oh, I can't remember. I think it's 25. It's either 23 or 25, and I'm so sorry I can't remember. I have so many products, and I've been adding some things lately, so I can't remember. Thank you, Marty. That means a lot coming from you because you are an excellent painter. Thank you, Christy. Wilma, I'm glad you are here. And Tamara, thank you. You guys are awesome. Gwen says add some snow. Yeah, the night sky is my favorite too. On the hat of the one I think. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So do that. that's a great point. Let me just show you the difference that adding a little highlight makes. That's a great point. Thank you for saying that. See, I never can remember everything. Doesn't take a lot of white paint. You can even just get your brush really wet and kind of thin it down even a little bit to do your highlight. But I'm going to just take a little detail brush with some white paint and just kind of whimsically add a little bit of highlights around here. That's all this is just bringing out the lines in the hat. You can do the same thing with black. Oh, I did that on the other one too. I took a little black and made some creases. You know how your hat will kind of crease when it's bent? So that is something you can take the same little detail brush and come in here and just, you know, as if it's kind of, now it's better to do that when you haven't put the snow on, but you get the idea. And you can also take the black if you want to and just kind of give it a little whimsical line here and there. I do like to do that. So yes, thank you for bringing that up, Brenda. That's a good little touch you can do. Thank you. I hope you guys have a great night. And listen, come back next week. I have another fun Christmas surprise for you next Friday night. So just tell the family that you're gonna order them a pizza. You order you a pizza and come into your little space where you can get away from everybody and just hang out with us. So it'll be fun. And I'm glad y'all were here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the sprinkles and the stars. And I will come back and answer questions. If you have any, let me know. You can always message me. You guys have a great night, and I hope you enjoyed it. Also, if you make one, I want to see it. So be sure and show me or tag me. Yay, Patty! Who will be the first to show me theirs? I can't wait. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.